All right, hey guys. So this video is going to go over the lesson 7 in Unit 2 from Thursday, October 22nd, determining the slope of a line from its graph. Okay, so the first one is a review. Graph this linear equation using slope and y-intercept. So what we're going to do is figure out what the m is and what the b is. Remembering our equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so the m is the number in front of the x. So here our m is 3 over 2. And our b is the positive 1. Okay, so this tells us how much we're going to move. Remember, m is slope. B is y-intercept. Okay, so this positive 3 tells us we're going to be going up 3. Positive 2 tells us we'll be going right 2. And a b of 1 tells us that we will be beginning at 1 on the y-axis, which is going to be the point 0, 1, where the y-coordinate is 1. Okay, so then we go ahead and graph that. We begin at 0, 1. So here's 0, and here's 1 on the y-axis. This is the point 0, 1. And then we're going to move up 3, right 2. Up 3, right 2. Plot a point. Up 3, right 2. Up 3, right 2. The reverse would be going down 3 and left 2. Down 3, left 2. Okay, once you have enough, you can connect them. And then you want to label your line. Y equals 3 over 2x plus 1. Okay, and notice this line is going upward. It has a positive slope. As you look from left to right, it is going upward, positive slope, and sure enough, our slope, our m, is a positive number. Okay, now let's take a look at our essential question for today, which is how can we determine the slope of a line from its graph only? So what if we didn't have this equation over here or here? And we wanted to find the slope starting with the graph. We're used to starting with the equation. Now we're starting by just looking at that graph. So the way that you can do that is you can look at that graph and figure out, well, how much should I go up or down and how much should I go side to side? So what we call this is creating a slope triangle. So we have our rise over our run. Our rise is going up or down, and our run is always going to be going to the right. Okay, so we've been doing this. We've been doing up or down and then going to the right, but we've been starting with that fraction for slope. Now we're going to go the other way and start with the graph. So if you look at our graph and you go from one point to the other, you have to see how much do I need to rise and then how much do I have to run. In other words, how much do I have to go up and down and then how much do I have to go right. So to get from here to here, we'll start down here actually. To get from here to here, you need to go up 3 and then to the right 2. So we're going up 3, right 2. So for this one, our rise is 3, positive 3, and our run to the right is positive 2. And sure enough, our slope is 3 over 2 because they gave it to us in that equation. Okay, let's look at it again from here. Up 3, right 2. Up 3, right 2. These slope triangles tell us that no matter which points you're going between, you're going up 3 and to the right 2. Okay, so that's another way to find slope. And here's our steps. Okay, so your first step is to draw a slope triangle connecting any 2 points on the line. So you just pick the two that are right back to back, and you're going to connect them by making a triangle. So you're going to have to either go up and down, and then to the right. Determine the rise, which is how many units up or down, over the run, which is how many units to the right. Write it as a fraction, rise over run, and simplify if necessary. Okay, let's try some. Okay, determine the slope of each line by looking at the graph first. Okay, so we're going to make some slope triangles here. So I'm going to try to get from this point to this point by making a triangle. First, I need to go up or down. I'm going to have to go down to get to this point. I need to go down 2 boxes. Now I'm lined up with this point, so I can start running. And I'm going to run 3. 3 to the right, so it's positive. Down 2, negative 2. 3 to the right, positive 3. So my slope for this one is negative 2 over 3. We went down, so negative 2. Okay, what if you picked these points? Down 2, to the right 3. Okay, it's the same. All right, so just pointing out this is a downward line, so this one has a negative slope. It's headed downward as you go from left to right. All right, let's take a look at B. Okay, so you always want to just go from left to right. So looking at this point, trying to get to this point, I'm going to have to go up or down because remember, it's rise over run. So that would be up and down and then the right. So first we're going to have to go down because going up would not get us to this point. So let's go down 3 and then I can run 1. I went down 3 and then to the right 1. So negative 3 over positive 1, which simplifies to a slope of negative 3. So my m is negative 3. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, again, just go from left to right, this point to this point. So I have to think, am I going to go up or down? Because remember, you do the rise first. You do the up or down first. Down's not going to get me near that point, so I better go up and then to the right. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I see that I'm lined up with it. So I went up 4, so I'm going to write positive 4 for my rise. And then I have to run to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Positive 6, so 6 in the denominator is also positive. Now this is one that we can simplify. So we can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2. And this will simplify to 2/3 for our slope. The reason why is that there's actually another point right here, even though it wasn't labeled. And if you look carefully, I'm going to use a different color here. You could have went up 2 and then to the right 3. 2/3. So this one was up 4 to the right 6. The smaller slope triangle was up 2 to the right 3. So that's our more simplified one. But if you didn't see that point there because it wasn't labeled, totally fine. You get a higher numbers in your fraction and you just simplify it. Okay, for D, start at this point, make our way over to the right. We're going to have to go up 2 to the right 1. Rise over run. We went up 2 to the right 1, which simplifies to 2 for our slope. Okay, and let's do it again. Up 2, right 1, just to be sure. And if you had skipped that and went from this point to this point, it would have been up 4, right 2, which still would have simplified to 2. Okay, let's do this one now. We're going from this point to this point, right? From left to right. We're going to have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. Right 1, 2, 3, 4. So our slope is down 4, right 4, which simplifies, negative 4 divided by 4 simplifies to negative 1. So whenever your fraction's simplifying, that means that there was other points that were closer together that you missed, which is totally fine, but I'm going to point them out to you now. So it looks like there's a point right here on the grid, here, and here. So if you look carefully, I'll use my pink pen again, we could have just went down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, which would have been negative 1 over 1, which is still negative 1. Okay, so either way is fine. It's always easiest the closer together the points are that you see, but it's okay if you don't see them. You just have to simplify the fraction. Okay, for F, we have a point here. It looks like a point here. Okay, those are the two that are pointed out. I don't see any crossing here or here or here. This is close, but it doesn't quite cross the grid. So we're just going to do those two. We're going to have to go up 2, and then to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So remember, slope is rise over run. we had to go up 2 and then to the right 5. You can't simplify 2/5, so we're good. Our slope is 2/5 for that one. All right, next page. Okay, graph the line y equals 4 on the coordinate plane below. Okay, so I'm going to start out by making a table for this one of some x values and some y values. So for the x values, I'm going to just pick some numbers that are close together on the axes from -3 to 3, right? That's what we did last time with our tables. And now let's see the y value. So if the equation is y equals 4, usually we take this value for x, we plug it in for x and see what the y is. There's nowhere to plug in this -3 for x. There's no x in the equation. This equation is telling us that y is always going to equal 4 no matter what. So let's see, when x is -3, well, y equals 4. When x is -2, oh, y equals 4. No matter what, it says y is going to equal 4. So let's plot this. -3, 4, -2, 4, -1, 4, 0, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, and 3, 4. Our line y equals 4 is a horizontal line where the y value is always going to be 4. So it goes through the point 0, 4. It goes through 4 on the y-axis, the line y equals 4. Okay, so now, though, we need to try and figure out the slope of this line, and how do we know that? So we learned that slope is rise over run, right? M equals rise over run. So let's see, to get from this point to this point, how much do I need to rise and how much do I need to run? Well, they're right next to each other, so I don't need to go up or down at all. And then how much do I need to run? I have to run over 1 to get from here to here. Well, I don't need to go up or down at all, so 0, and then run 1, run 1. Every single point, you don't have to go up or down at all, so 0 over 1. You have to run 1 box over. 0 divided by 1, well, anything, if you take 0 and you divide it by anything, you're always going to get 0. So this line has a 0 slope. Okay, so try to remember horizontal lines have a 0 slope, a slope of 0. It's just a flat line. Mountains have slopes. This is just 0. It's flat. Okay, so then I just want to point out also that if the slope is 0 and you go back to your line y equals mx plus b, that means the m is 0. So if you plug in 0 for m, and then our b would be 4 because that's where it's going through the y-intercept, anything times 0 is 0. So this is just going to be 0 plus 4, which is just 4. So that x kind of disappears when you do 0 times x, because 0 times anything is 0. So that's how we get our line y equals 4. The slope is 0. Okay, next one. X equals 4. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. So again, I'm going to do a table. And let's see, the x coordinate is always going to be 4. And let's pick some similar values for our y. Okay, so the x is 4, and y could be -3. When the x is 4, the y can be anything. It doesn't really matter. We just picked points that are close by. Whenever you go to x4, and then you're going to have a y value. So let's see, the first one we did was 4, -3, 4, -2, 4, -1, 4, 0, 4, 1, 4, 2, and 4, 3. So the line x equals 4 is a vertical line that goes through 4 on the x-axis. Okay, so now let's think about what is the slope of this line. Okay, so slope is rise over run. Oops, sorry. So let's see, to get from one point to the other, how much do I need to rise? So if I'm going from here to here, I need to rise 1, and then I don't have to run at all because we're already on it. So the rise is 1, and the run is 0. Now, if you put in your calculator 1 divided by 0, you're going to get error. it's undefined. Okay, so the other one, a flat line, had a 0 slope. A vertical line has an undefined slope. There was no run. You couldn't go left or right at all. So it was 0 as a denominator, which causes it to be undefined. Okay, so just the last page is just to go over the 4 types of slope. So as you always look from left to right with your graph. So as you go from left to right, this one is going downward. So it's a negative slope. Left to right, this one is going upward. So it's a positive slope. Undefined is a vertical line. Right, remember a vertical line test? Undefined, straight up and down. And this one right here is a 0 slope. It is flat. This is a horizontal line. All right, hopefully that helps. Again, that was lesson 7 from Thursday, October 22nd. All right, bye.